Right. We are live on Linda School Facebook page, Linda School Throwback series, inspiring interviews with ex-Linda School students. And today we have the privilege of interviewing Diana Alcobia, who sure has a lot of stories to tell us. I can't wait to listen to some of your most interesting stories, Diana. So thank you very much for being here with us and for being available to share what's happened to you since you left Linda School, where you've been, what you've been doing, and all of that. So please introduce yourself, Diana. Who are you? Where are you from? What are you currently doing? What were you doing when you left Linda School?
Of course. So thank you for the invitation, first of all, and hello, everyone. So it has been a while, so about 13 years since I left Linda School. I didn't do my whole all English course there, but I started, I think, roughly around the second year, and I went to do my FC certificate, and I started PA, but then I will explain it a bit better.
Okay.
So, in terms of my academic or my professional route and how English was essential for it, so I decided to move to the UK when I was so just after my bachelor's degree when I completed it. And of course, even though I finished English at around 17 years old, I had my FT certificate and I was quite proficient at English, although I wasn't very used to speaking English in front of a lot of people. I was quite good at writing and grammar and all of that, but not so much at speaking, even though we do a lot of speaking in our classes. So when I decided to study abroad in the UK, I was terrified because I didn't know if I was going to be able to speak, to understand people, understand other accents mostly, and also to write exams in English and all the things associated with it.
That you have to do, of course, as a student.
Exactly. So, but that was just before I moved to the UK. Once I got there, you just need to communicate. And after a while, you just forget that you no longer know how to speak. You just need to speak. Even if you make a lot of mistakes, you will learn with your mistakes and you will learn very fast.
Yeah.
So I think it was one of the best things to learn English. It was to study abroad. And in this case, did my master's degree and decided to carry on and do my doctorate, so my PhD. And this is in my bio that you presented. I did a little bit of work as well. So I worked in a CRO company, which is a contract-based company working for pharmaceutical companies, doing a lot of research. And then I decided, so this was this was a plan between me and my husband. So both of us wanted to travel. For me, initially, I wasn't too sure whether I wanted to do a big stop in my career, especially because I was at the beginning of my career. But then I decided, oh, well, it's our dream and we will see how much money we've got. We did a lot of budget lists, a lot of searching the internet to see how much money we needed in each country we wanted to go to. So we went mostly to developing countries because we wanted to really explore cultures that are completely different to ours. And also it's cheaper, of course, if you want to travel through developing countries, your money stretches quite a bit.
Yeah.
And that was it. So I've been traveling since October last year. Well, September.
Wow, 1 year.
September last year. Exactly. COVID got in the way, but I'm still traveling.
Okay, so how did that change your plans?
So it changed a lot. And I'm not a person who likes to plan a lot of the things. So a lot of the traveling, even though we did plan in terms of finance-wise, and in terms of which countries we wanted to go through, we didn't plan it a lot. We had our initial flight to India, and we had our first few nights accommodation. I think it was 3 or 4 nights in the
Mm-hmm.
New Delhi, and that was it. The rest of the plan was along the way.
Yeah.
In terms of career, I'm still in my early stages of my career, and I think it was the best time to do this adventure, to gain more
Mm-hmm.
knowledge, a different kind of knowledge, while traveling the world. And and yes, and I think nowadays it's you always can find someone, an employer that will like you to be like this, to be adventurous, to explore, to be able
Mm.
to move out of your comfort zone. And I
So
think
do you
it's very
plan
important.
to go back to what you trained for?
Not sure yet. So I'm still
Mm.
thinking, maybe yes, maybe no. I think it will depend on the opportunities I will encounter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
No plans.
Right. Right. So basically, you are an example of what it is to have a dream and put it in motion. So you had this dream of traveling and traveling around the world, and you made it happen. So,
Yes.
what were the ingredients that you needed in yourself that helped you put this plan in motion?
So I think first of all you need to not think that it's only a dream. If you want to do
Mm-hmm.
it, you really need to start moving step by step. So little steps. So the first thing was to see, okay, how much money I will need, how much money I can I be without job for this amount of time? How will I
Mm-hmm.
cope with it? Of course, being with a partner always helps because you have someone else
Mm-hmm.
to support you. I think being alone is a bit more difficult also to share the
Mm-hmm.
expenses.
Mm-hmm.
You need to start probably buying things so that you make it real. We started buying our backpacks
Mm-hmm.
and selling things in the house
Mm.
and started to tell people, although
Mm.
especially job wise we had to also plan that.
Yeah.
Because in my job, I was very lucky because my projects were always all finishing when I was about to say that I was going to leave the company.
Good.
So it worked
Mm-hmm.
out really, really well. I was able to give a lot of time in advance to my boss. He was quite happy with
Mm-hmm.
that. I finished all the projects, everything was closed and done. And I think that's the main thing. If you have a job, and if you have things that will you will leave it open, you have to organize your life
Mm-hmm.
and everything you have so that you know that you're done to start the new adventure. Otherwise, you
Yeah.
will always feel regrets and you tend to go
Mm-hmm.
back and say, "Oh no, this is crazy. I'm not going to do it."
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think
It
those
will
are the
be a
key.
resistance. Hmm.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. And in what way has knowing good English served you throughout your life ever since you were a student?
Yeah, so I think I can mention 4 areas of my life that English was very useful. So the first of all, the first one I already mentioned, which is the education.
Mm-hmm.
So you can travel to another country, you can also explore. You have a wider amount of information because you can read English books, English papers,
Mm-hmm.
watch English documentaries, everything that can bring you knowledge for your education. Also, the second aspect is the social cultural one because you have a wider range of friends and a big network because you can be able to communicate with a lot of people. Most people in the world now speak English. There's the second or third language. So it's always easy to communicate with other people using English language. The fourth or the third aspect is the job. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
especially being in science, everything is the English essential because even in China or Brazil, in this case would be speaking Portuguese, but Argentina, you would probably be speaking in English in an international laboratory.
Mm-hmm.
You have to write in English because you have to publish, write grants. Everything is in English. So in my job, it would be impossible for me not to write and speak fluent English.
Mhm.
Then the final one is, or what I also mentioned, is traveling. So traveling is much easier for you, and you feel much more comfortable and safe
Mhm.
when you can speak in English so that you can communicate with other people. And
Mm.
I've been in a lot of developing countries, including Cambodia, Myanmar, Vietnam, and everyone speaks in English. Not everyone, but
Wow.
most people speak
Yeah.
English, so you can communicate with everyone easily.
Mm.
So
Good.
I think those
Okay.
those four
Those are
areas are,
the main areas for you. Yeah.
yeah.
Going back to the question of, so how did the COVID change the initial round the world tour?
Yeah, so I was actually doing my teach yoga course when COVID started. Well, actually, we started listening about it when I was in Vietnam. So I
Mm.
was in the north of Vietnam, in the border between Vietnam and China, when the
Mm-hmm.
virus was already going in China.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, we weren't aware of what the virus was at that time. We
Mm-hmm.
still didn't have any idea of what was the virus and how contagious it was. But we saw a lot of people wearing masks, even though Chinese people tend to wear a lot of masks because of pollution, of air
Mm-hmm.
pollution. But we found a bit strange, and people were trying to stay away from each other. But nothing. I wasn't very aware of the dangers of the virus or anything. And I don't think I got the virus, or if I did get, I was asymptomatic because I didn't have any symptoms. But anyway, but when it got serious in Europe, when the cases started to rise, and just before lockdown, I was doing my yoga course. I was actually at the end of my yoga course in Indonesia.
Mm.
And I was planning to stay in Indonesia. I even sent messages to
Mm.
my parents and friends and other people saying, well, this is our home now, so we're going to stay here and see when it gets better, we will continue our travels. But then we spoke with the Portuguese embassy in Indonesia, asking how serious the problem was, and they were like, well, we have a free flight for you if you want to. We're going to fly um, in like a week time, and it's a direct flight to Portugal. I was like, there's never direct flights to Portugal from Indonesia. You always have to go somewhere to stop. So this was a
Mm.
direct flight, free of cost. You only paid the airport taxes. And that was it. So I spoke with my husband, and we were like, okay, let's go back to Portugal. And yeah, we found a house in Oeiras
Mm-hmm.
in Lisbon, and we stayed there in quarantine for 14 days and stayed
Mm-hmm.
there a little while. But then after that, so we didn't want to stop our travels. So
Mm-hmm.
we had another idea, which actually was another dream in the back of our minds, which was we
Oh,
wanted to
okay.
travel. The second one, we wanted to
Crazy
travel.
dream.
Yeah,
You're very
by bike.
courageous.
Actually, Tiago, my husband, he wanted to
Mm-hmm.
go by bike around the world, and I said, no, that's too much. And
Whoa.
he told me this 2 months before our trip. It's like, no, there's no time for us to buy bikes and to practice for this trip. So, but this time I was like, oh, we could do a trip by bike. And then we bought the two bikes and decided the first plan was to go from Portugal to France by bike. But then
Mm-hmm.
because of COVID, we decided to just
Mm-hmm.
stay in Portugal. So we did the whole west coast of Portugal. And then we decided to go down via the National Road 2, which is a very popular
Mm-hmm.
road. And this year
Yeah,
it
very
turned
popular.
75 years.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, so we did that trip
How many kilometers
during,
did you ride on your bike?
uh, I think it was a little bit over 2,000 kilometers.
Whoa.
around 2,000 kilometers.
In how many days?
Yeah, it was really nice. So it was 34 days, if I'm not mistaken. All the information is in my page, so if anyone wants
Yeah.
to check, double
Hmm.
check, go there.
So tell me, how did you feel during those first days on your bike?
Uh, First of all, I was very excited because I really wanted to see, especially the West Coast. I was very, very excited to go through all the beaches by bike.
Mm-hmm.
But there was also a bit of fear because I've never rode so much. I think the most that I've rode before was like 20 kilometers max and very
Mm-hmm.
slow pace. And I wasn't used to be on a road with cars and all
Yeah.
of that. So a bit of a mix of adventure and excitement, but fear as well.
Mm-hmm.
But everything went well in the end.
Mm-hmm.
It
So
was
now
a
you're
really good
virtually an
experience.
athlete, right?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Now you're an athlete.
No, mistaken. No, no, you don't need to be an athlete. And I didn't, although people thought my legs be huge at the end of it, like I'm strong. No, they weren't.
You were
They were still the same.
petite. Yeah. Okay, great. And
Yeah.
so now, where are you?
So at the moment, so after we completed the bike tour, we wanted to explore also the Portuguese islands, in this case Azores,
Mm-hmm.
Açores in
Mm-hmm.
Portuguese. And fortunately, we had Tiago had some family living with a house in São Jorge, one of the
Mm.
islands, and we decided to speak with them and came here just after we finished our bike tour. And we
Mm-hmm.
have been here since mid-August,
Mm.
exploring all the at the moment 7 islands out of the 9 islands of Açores with friends.
Mm-hmm.
We're alone, so it has been quite
It
a lot
has
of
been
trips.
great. So what does it feel like to not have to work, to be able to really enjoy each day with everything it has to offer?
Well, it's a new life. It is.
Yeah.
I thought at some point I would be wanting to work again, and sometimes I do. Sometimes I feel like I miss routine and colleagues, and but every day I have a goal, even if it's a tiny
Mm.
one. I always try to have a goal because I still have the mindset of working. So for me, I love traveling. So one of my goals is to try to explore as much as I can. We do a lot of walking, try to do many activities like
Mm-hmm.
snorkeling. We did also canyoning and all of that. So, but day by day, I always try, and I want to also improve my knowledge while I'm traveling.
Mm-hmm.
So I do try to listen to a lot of podcasts and YouTube videos, and but it's a life that you will miss because it's you are really in contact with yourself. With you have all the
Mm-hmm.
time in the world to do what you love,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it's a good life. Although
So
I know that
you
workaholics wouldn't like it that much.
well, maybe they would after they got used to it. So you're sort of
Maybe.
like, if I go back to regular work, I'll miss this life for sure, right?
For sure. I think once I go back to my previous life, I will try to continue traveling, even if it's just a
Mm.
week or a weekend.
Hmm.
I will still
Do
do a bit
you
of traveling.
do you believe you will go to your previous life like that? That is possible, or that now the life you will create is different from what you thought it would be before all of these
Well,
adventures?
I, yeah, I think it will be different because now I'm different. You change with
Mm.
traveling, you change with your experiences and the people you meet, and especially being in developing countries really changes you because it gives
Mm-hmm.
you a complete different perspective of why you are here, why you work, what you need and what you really like. And
Mm-hmm.
that's something that I've been learning, especially this year with all my traveling. And so yeah, we'll never go back to what I was
Yeah,
before.
exactly. Same thing as the world will never be the same as it was before the COVID.
Mm,
So things just
no.
change. Right. And
Yeah, especially with COVID. COVID also gave us a big lesson.
yes, exactly. So everything is sort of, in a sense, upgraded inside of us if we allow it to bring us its gifts. Um, so from traveling in these countries that are seem to be poorer economically, but what was the richness for you?
So the first thing is the smile in people's
Hmm.
face. Even though sometimes they don't have absolutely nothing, like in India, I used to see people and I had no idea they didn't have a shelter. They had their work that they live, well, they eat with what they earn on that day. If they don't earn on that day, they can't eat.
Hmm.
And they sleep outside in the street. So if they have a little store where they sell things, that's where they live. And this is not one person, this is most of the population. But
Hmm.
still, they are with a smile on their faces and they seem happy and they are surrounded by their family, their friends, their community. So I think those were life lessons to me. Like
Hmm.
what human needs, it's a community, a sense of protection, and that's what you need to be happy. You don't need a lot of
So that was
material,
the
although
richness for you.
yes. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
basically
can say
you
that.
you don't have a house either at the moment, right?
Well, it's different because fortunately, I have money to pay for a house.
Yes, but
I'm
you
not
don't
just,
have
yeah,
somewhere that is waiting there for you to come back to. You have to rebuild it when you go back.
true, true. But yeah,
Hmm.
it's difficult to compare. It's completely
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
Hmm. Oh yeah, I'm
But
not
yeah,
comparing. I'm just saying, what does it feel
yeah.
like for you? You don't have anything settled or programmed. Are you looking forward to
What,
that?
yes and no. Of
Hmm.
course, I think it's more like a cultural thing that we need to have a house. We need to
Mm.
have a stable life. If we also want to raise a family, we need to have a
Hmm.
job. And I think knowing that ma gives me more fear, which I don't like because
Yeah.
a lot of people that I saw traveling, I saw couples with like 3 kids in India. So this couple was from Israel, and they are both teachers. And I think they are both teachers, or at least one of them was, with 3 young kids. I think the oldest had 10 years old,
Mm.
and they didn't know how to speak English, the kids, and they were in Goa, in
Hmm.
India. They were staying there for 3 months. The kids were going to school, an English school,
Hmm.
without speaking in English, and they were super happy. We met them at a cooking class, and the kids were the ones cooking and teaching the parents. And when I looked at these families, I was like, well, you don't need a house, you don't need a job. You just need, of course, you need money, income to raise a child,
Hmm.
but you need to be proactive and happy and
Mm.
determined, and you can live a normal life. You don't need
Yeah, so
those standards
that's
of life.
the point, that you have
Yeah,
had the opportunity to change the standards and to realize that
yeah.
many different
But
ways
it's
are
not easy.
possible. Mm.
It is not easy. It's not for everyone, and I understand that for a lot of people, it's very difficult to leave out of the comfort zone because
Mhm.
that's how human nature works. We want to be safe in a
Mhm.
comfortable place with everything we need around. So you really need to have a big change of your mindset. And
Yeah.
I'm saying this today, but maybe yesterday I was like, is this the best? Was this a good idea? oh,
Yeah,
how
each
would it
moment
be if I
you
continued my normal life? You
Mhm.
think about this all the time.
Of course, of course. Yeah, but you would be thinking about it if you hadn't done any of this, and you would be thinking, what would it be like if I did this? Should I do it, etc. So it's
Yeah,
basically a human conundrum.
yeah,
Goes round and round one way or another.
exactly. We are never
Yeah.
satisfied. But one thing I'm sure, I never regret what I've done, and I've
Great.
learned a lot of things.
Good, good, good. Right. So that was so interesting, Diana. I'm really happy that you accepted our invitation. And please follow Diana's page. Can you share the name of your Facebook page so that people can follow it? It's in the thing, but you can also say it so
Yeah.
people can follow.
So yeah, so the page is Diana and Tiago Go Around the World. If you search for that
Mhm.
on Facebook, you can find our page and you can like it and follow it. We will keep we're still posting our adventure now in Asoch.
Mhm.
New posts will come. So yeah,
Mhm.
check it out.
Good. Good. Thank you. Thank you so very much, Diana. And keep on exploring new avenues of possibilities and sharing
Thank you.
what you discover. Thank you very much. I also thank all of the viewers who have been with us and will view this video later on. And next week, we have another Linda School Throwback interview with another ex-Linda School student. So, see you around, Diana. I hope to see you sometime in between your travels. And take care. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Bye.
Thank you. The pleasure was ours. Thank you very much.